go crazy. But anyway, if you could help me out, I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. You have a wonderful day. Yeah, and I am not surprised. I think this directly speaks to the massive disconnect from humanity that comes along with being a white-bodied individual. And like I was talking about in the video, I think, it's very telling when white people are like, why isn't anybody doing anything? And all the communities outside of whiteness are like, what the fuck do you mean? Why aren't you doing anything as a white person? And then the response is, I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do. We are not, as a white collective, built for this shit. We as a collective do not have the survival skills, the community, the regulation skills, the mental health, the conflict resolution skills. We don't have any of that. And so this is what, again, pushes us further back into our own individualism. And the thing, I talked about this at a different platform yesterday, but our individualism not only will kill us, but it is in fact killing everyone else right now, because our collective individualism has pushed us into complacency. And the wild thing is, I know that response that you gave is not only the truth.
So someone said, my white co-worker is absolutely traumatized by what is happening to this country and what it has become. I told her it's just another day for black people and kept walking.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. And what I want to get into, all right, today is respond, to a portion, of the latest news and prophecy, all right, done by the beloved Eliasha Wumba. And when he got to one segment, around about the 55-minute mark, all right, you had this Edomite, drop a bomb, about how, these Edomites, okay, are not built for the times to come. Okay, and it's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful to see you Edomites suffer. Okay. One thing that we have to understand, the Lord is getting ready to judge the earth. Okay, and 2/3 they're going to get caught in it. We speak on the judgment that they got coming, after they've been begged to repent for decades. Okay, and then we also harp on you devils. All right, finally the Lord's getting you devils. All right, and you devils have been pampered, in this society for so long. You've enjoyed Edomite privilege. You've been hyped up, to believe that you just have, that you're superior intellectually, like just, you're the pioneers of society, like you just was on the front line building everything with your hands, and, you're the engineers, you're the scientists, you're the, you're the thinkers, you're the innovators, and it's just you, you just this overall 99 player. Okay, you believe the hype. All right, when the truth doesn't matter is the earth, was given into your hands. All right, and you've been thriving, okay, off the labor and the ingenuity of slaves, especially Jake, the tribes. All right, because you look at most of the inventions, okay, that make life easier and more convenient. Well, those things were invented by Jake. All right, a lot of Jake men and even some, all right, Israelite women. All right, because they're the top women, in the earth. Most of them through now in America. All right, America has done a number on them. Okay, but in their, in their natural setting, the Israelite woman is the top woman. And they contributed, okay, to a lot of the slaves, the Israelite slaves, men and women, the bulk, being the men, but they contributed to a lot of advancements in society. Okay, and you devils, what you own in Jake, you own their inventions. Okay, and you have even, Europe, you look at Europe, European, prided itself on what civilizing the earth. Well, first Jake, all right, during the medieval times, all right, Jake set up all right, the culture, all right, the civilization, the structure, okay, the nobility, all right, the titles, the ranks, okay, the laws, okay. Jake set all that up, and you devil just inherited because it was your time to inherit the earth, all right, and you had to be civilized coming out those caves, okay. The Khazars, all right, Esau coming, was pushed off, okay, he had to come out of those caves. Why they are also referred to as Caucasians, going back to the Caucasus Mountains. There's a lot of history to go into, but just giving them a brief rundown. Okay, but at the end of the day, all right, you devils been lied to. Okay, and it's finna show. All right, because it's finna be a great Edomite suffering in the earth right before you go into slavery. This is just the beginning. And we speak on Jacob's trouble. All right, which it must need to be so. All right, the niggas got to be stopped. Okay, this condition, okay, that's a plague to our people, okay, has to be stopped. But see, Jake is going to be born into rulership. You see, these same niggas that, you can point to and make it seem as if they're the problem of the earth, and, the nigga woman is, the reason why the economy is bad because, nigga woman and food stamps. See, you can run with that narrative and, make yourself feel better. But at the end of the day, okay, once 2/3 are punished, okay, they're going to eventually come back, okay, in the kingdom with their people in power forever. Okay, you Edomites, all right, you're finna suffer on your way out of power. Then you have 1,000-year captivity to look forward to. All right, then you're going to be eradicated. So this is just the beginning of you Edomite suffering, man. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so I ain't gonna make this long. I'm gonna get 2 precepts. Okay, because you go back into the origin dealing with Jacob and Esau. This is Genesis 25 and 23. It says, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy vows. All right. So this is, all right, the prophet, okay, speaking unto Rebecca, okay, because she was inquiring why, she was in such pain, but she had 2, all right, nations in her womb, Jacob and Esau. Okay, those 2 children that was in her womb will become 2 nations, and them fighting within her womb was symbolic of the fight of good and evil that will play out between these 2 nations in the earth. Okay, it says 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder, all right, which is Esau, should serve the younger, which is Jacob, which is going to be in the times that we're coming into. That's going to play out. Okay, he does then go into servitude to the younger, okay, which is Jacob, and Jacob being the stronger because, of course, we're better athletes and physically stronger than the devil. But Jake also has a mental resilience, and you can see it every day. Jake makes something out of nothing in the worst circumstances, man. Okay, because even though the Lord, punished us with this captivity and put us in the possession of these heathens, all right, up under Esau, the Lord, still allow us to have certain resilience, okay, in the worst situation, man, to know how to go without, to make nothing out of something, to stretch, okay, to, even kick it. Jake learned how to kick it in poverty, man. Jake make poverty look good. A lot of the fashion, that the earth imitate, is from Jake, from my people in their poverty, man. Okay, now you go to the word stronger, all right, in the Hebrew, it's amatazah, all right, amatazah, and it says to be strong, to be alert, to be courageous, okay, to be brave, to be bold, to be solid, to be hard, okay, and Jake have a hard spirit, man. Even like I say, even the women, okay, of Israel, man, the Israelite woman, not so much the modern, of today, but you look back a few generations, man, those are some solid women, some hard women. They will go out and work in the field, they take care of the house, okay, whoop some ass, feed the community. That was a different, they were just built different than any other woman, okay, in the earth. You see, the Israelite man, the best farmers. When you go into, post-slavery, and you go into how when Esau was catching hell farming, Jake was thriving. When Esau County was in depression, Jake, all right, had booming and thriving communities, man. Okay, fresh out of captivity. You see, Jake built different, man. And like he said, these devils ain't built for these times, man. And that's why it's going to be so beautiful to see these Edomites suffer, man. Okay? It says to be determined. All right, now it says to strengthen, to secure, to harden, all right, heart, which is your mind, to make firm, to make obstinate, to assure. Okay? And this is why, even today, it's a marvel just to see some of the situations that Jake is able to come out of. It's only one people that the Lord built like that, man. Okay? So you Edomites, all right, you're not built like this. You don't have that. That's why Esau, you're going to see suicide at an all-time high amongst these devils that's getting ready to lose, man. All right? You Edomites are used to being bailed out. All right? You're used to things being handed to you. Okay, like I said, you've been used to a society that gives you privilege. Okay, you're used to inheriting things. Okay, the chances of you having wealth, a network of wealth amongst your family, amongst the community, your network. You see, all this finna go away because now the elites, all right, they want to go into this new order. All right. And either you're going to be an elite, you're going to be in that small portion of elites, or you're going to be just like everyone else amongst the poor. Okay. So a lot of you Edomites are being transitioned unto the poor class. Okay. And you're not built for it. You see? And it says to be determined, to make oneself alert, to confirm oneself. It says to persist in. Okay. To prove superior to. And see, you Edomites, you don't have any superiority. You don't have the superiority trait. You just been given the earth. Okay, you're not built to really go out and get it. You're not built to go make it happen. Okay, and it's finna be exposed. You don't have the persistence. Okay, to operate. All right, in intense situations. Okay, and it's finna show, and it's a beautiful thing. So let's go here. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, and verse 30, 31. This is the GNT. It says, misery will come to those who mistreated you, and then rejoice when you fail. And this, the Lord, all right, we serve a true power, man. He makes good on his word. We should be, all right, invigorated, man, by reading this and then watching it happen, play out real time, man. This is what we're seeing, man. That they're crying more and more. There's more and more compilation of these devils catching hell and crying out, man. And it's just going to increase. It says, it says, misery will come to those who mistreated you, and then rejoice when you fail. Misery come to those cities that made your children slaves. Misery will be the fate of Babylon, which is America, that city which swallowed up your children. Okay, so you devils have enjoyed benefits off the captivity, okay, the torment and mistreatment of the tribes. All right, that you showed no mercy. You devils, all you had to do was be born and inherit, okay, certain privileges, okay, because of who you were. Okay, and it was your time to rule. You see? And it was at the mistreatment, okay, and the suffering of Jacob. Okay, now the Lord is getting ready to allow, okay, the tribes to see you suffer, man. Okay, and mainly the elect. All right, because 2/3 they're gonna get caught up in it, but they gonna get to see your ass suffer too. Okay, because you're not even built to be in the circumstances that 2/3 endure daily. Okay, and it said, just as they rejoiced when you fell and took delight in your ruin, so now she will mourn when she herself is deserted. Okay, and this what's happening. The elites are deserting you, Edomites. Okay, you're being deserted. All right, in their mind, like, look, we need to just keep the blessing amongst this small, all right, group, this small 1% or less. Okay, let's concentrate all the wealth and resources to these families. All right, and the rest, hey, look, we have to lump them up with everyone else to secure our wealth and our power. Okay, so you're being deserted. Okay, and ultimately the Lord, all right, which propped you up, is deserting you. You see? And it says, I will turn her proud boastings into mourning. Yeah, all this high IQ and, our forefathers did this, and, civilization started with us, and, we brought, people from the dark to the light, and we the creators, and we the inventors, and it's us and this. And, okay. Now you finna be in a position to show this high IQ, to show how ingenuitive you are, to show how creative you is. Okay, it says, I will turn her boasting into mourning and take away her large population in which she took pride. I, the eternal power, will come down, all right, will send down fire on her, and it will burn for many days. Her ruins will be haunted by demons for a long time to come, turn into a desert. Okay? Turn your glory, because these American Edomites, this is the peak, okay, of Esau's pride. Well, the Lord's going to turn this place to a desert. Okay? And this is where we at. You see, this is what we're seeing gradually, all right, take place. It's a beautiful thing, you know. So that was the point. Just wanted to go into that. Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sister edify once again. Don't give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders, GMS, rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations to the whole elect. Shalom.